All right, so housing prices are out of control. I know this, you know this. Whether you're buying a house, whether you're renting a house, it's completely unaffordable, right? And now the Trump administration is criminalizing homelessness. So you can't afford to buy a home. Renting is becoming unaffordable. More Americans are having to live out of their cars, RVs, mobile homes. Some of them are completely homeless out on the street, and the Trump administration is criminalizing homelessness. But not just that, can't we do anything about the price of housing, whether you rent or you buy? This has been a problem with Democratic and Republican administrations. But with regards to the Trump administration, they're making the situation worse, whereas before they just didn't do anything, right? We're going to get into all of it. But first, take a look at this video, and then we'll react.
I just saw a guy on here, lives in Texas. Him and his wife just got pre-approved for a mortgage. The mortgage in question, about $450. The monthly payment on said mortgage, it was close to $5,000. I'm going to be renting for the rest of my life.
Okay, not to be a negative Nelly, but what the actual is going on with housing prices? I live in Charlottesville, and there are shithole ranchers that haven't been touched since the 1970s that are 1.4 million.
We're looking at the numbers, looking at our income, looking at our credit, and they have us at $450,000, 5% down, which is $22,000. Thank God we got a little bit of money saved. They have our mortgage after PMI, after insurance, after taxes at $4,636 a month. What the are you talking about, okay? And the thing is, we could afford it. We actually could afford to spend that money on a mortgage every month. But a $5,000 mortgage? Who are y'all selling these houses to? Because we are outliers, okay? Not everybody is fortunate to have the jobs that we have.
So they're saying the same thing we're saying, what we're thinking. They're saying that mortgages and rent are completely out of control. The American dream is dead. The American dream is especially dead for young people. There's no way that they can afford to buy houses. And as a matter of fact, we're going to get into some of the things that they're doing. They're actually sharing mortgages with their friends, right? Buying houses with their friends because they can't afford housing, right? They can't afford to buy a house. Wages aren't keeping up with inflation. Private equity is buying up all of the homes and jacking up prices. It's completely out of control. Take a look at this. Co-buying with friends and family is roughly 15 to 20% of U.S. home sales now, which involve co-buyers who are now not romantic partners. So this includes friends, siblings, or parents. This has doubled over the last decade. 22% to 33% of first-time home buyers in the U.S. receive down payment assistance in the form of a gift or a loan from family. So they're having to buy houses with friends and family and receive loans from their parents in order to buy a house. Take a look at this. Breaking U.S. housing market, some home sellers now outnumber buyers by 530,000, the largest gap ever recorded. So now there's more houses on the market than are being bought. People are just not buying houses right now because the price is absolutely insane, right? And the government's not doing anything about it. They're not only making the situation worse and unaffordable, but they're criminalizing you being out on the street. Take a look at this video of Americans talking about selling their house and how difficult it is. Take a look at this video.
Today's day 145 of trying to sell my home.
I haven't got an offer on this listing at all, and I don't know why.
This is day 107 of us trying to sell our home here in Florida, and it is not selling. I know everyone keeps telling me in the comments that it is our price, and I'm telling you guys it is not our price.
So this is day 101 of our house being on the market. We did get an offer, but it was over $100,000 below our asking price.
Everything in this house is phenomenal. Maybe you can tell me why. Here we go, guys. All right, this is walking in through the front door. The space in here is fantastic. This room is just off the living room. I think this would be a great family room. And down here, it even has its own bathroom with a shower. And now into the best part. This backyard is huge, guys. The old trees and everything. So why? Why has this house not sold?
People cannot sell their homes because wages aren't keeping up with inflation, because companies are price gouging, because companies aren't paying, right? Because private equity is buying up the homes and jacking up rental prices and housing prices. The list goes on and on and on. And the government does nothing except they want to criminalize homelessness. Take a look at this. Affordable housing in the U.S. now means a steering wheel and a back seat. People living in sedans, minivans, SUVs, because rent broke them. Not adventurers, not digital nomads, workers, teachers, nurses, and retirees. The richest country in the world turned everyday vehicles into emergency shelters. More, criminalizing homelessness doesn't work. You are always closer to being unhoused than you are being a billionaire. I wanted to stress this because people on the right are always defending the rich and the billionaires, the cause of all of the misery in this country. They're always defending them before they defend the homeless. They're always defending the billionaires before they defend people in their own class. Trump just did an invasion of Venezuela. Now he's talking about Iran. If Iran shoots and violently kills peaceful protesters, which is their custom, the United States of America will come to their rescue. We are locked and loaded and ready to go. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. So now we're talking about Venezuela. Now we're talking about Iran. We're talking about Israel. We're talking about everything. And I've brought this up in the last few of my videos that the focus is on everything except what's going on in this country. Why aren't we focusing on homelessness? Why aren't we focusing on the cost of the mortgages? Why aren't we focusing on inflation? Why aren't we focusing on grocery prices? Why aren't we focusing on anything that affects the average day American? We're focusing on Iran now and Venezuela. Searches about Venezuela has gone down 70% in the last 48 hours because people don't care. We don't want foreign wars in another country. We don't care what's going on in Venezuela. We want to know what's going on right now in our pocketbook. We want to know what's going on right now with prices of housing, of rent, of groceries, of light bills, utilities. We don't care about this nonsense. Take a look at this. This is more insane. And this is what the Donald Trump is posting on Truth Social. While we're all suffering, trying to figure out how we're going to pay our rent and buy groceries and figuring out how to pay our mortgage, right? And navigate this insane economy. This is what Donald Trump is posting on Truth Social. Take a look at this. So this was Donald Trump in his invasion of Venezuela, bombing Caracas, which 80 people died, by the way, and one grandma died from the bombings. And we can't afford to pay our groceries. He's posting things about a foreign country who Americans largely do not care about whatsoever, while people are becoming homeless in this country and can't afford their mortgages, can't afford to buy a home because the American dream is unaffordable. The American dream is complete dream. It's a farce now. At this point, right? Posting about Iran, about actually intervening in another country, in Iran again, when people here in this country can't afford to pay their rent. It's so infuriating. Everything this president thinks about and does has nothing to do with Americans. Nothing. Nothing. It's always about Argentina. It's about this country or that country, or it's about providing arms to Israel. What is going on here? What are we doing to make our lives better? It's completely pathetic. This channel is about fighting for the average American. It's about fighting for the middle class. It's about fighting for political and economic justice. If you believe in anti-political corruption, anti-corporate greed, fighting for the little man, the working class, the blue collar, please consider subscribing because that's what this channel is about, right? It's not about billionaires, right? It's not about the rich who Republicans seems to be obsessed about, especially Republicans in Congress. That's not what this is about. So I would really appreciate if you gave this video a like, consider subscribing, leave comments because it would really help me out. I would really appreciate it, and to support the channel if you believe in those things. I appreciate it. I'll see you in the next one.